Let's see how this works. I don't think this is working. That should be live. Are we live? Okay, it says we're live, but I don't see this in the group. Okay, there it is. Oh my God, finally. Finally. Okay. So, welcome to today's local SEO Phoenix lunch hour, and I finally got this thing to roll out. I've been working hard for 10 minutes to get on here on Facebook Live. So just be patient with me. Today, I have a couple of awesome guests who are going to join me, and I'm going to pick their brains. And any questions you guys have, throw them down there, leave comments, whatever. While I get them set up, why don't you guys tell me what you guys are eating for lunch today? All right. So while you guys do that, let me invite my friends over. Where are you, Kyle? Let's go. And where is Dimitry? So this is the first time I'm using restream.io. So it was a little bit tricky. Not too bad. Just haven't done it before. Okay, so I'm live. There you go. Let's see. So I have invited them. It's another thing if they take me up on that invite. Let's see how this goes. So anyways, how has your day been? Mine's been a little bit full of meetings, and that's okay. It's just one of those days. And now I'm here relaxing with you guys, just gonna have some fun. Let's see. Oh, I have to hold on one second, Kyle. I see you, Kyle. I just don't hold on one second. Can you see and hear me? Everything okay?
Yep. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I hear you. I think Dimitri's coming too.
Perfect.
It is so weird to check myself out on different windows.
Right.
Like, I'm looking at myself in the group and I'm making sure that everything is streaming okay. I see Dimitri too. Hold on one sec.
Oh,
hey,
right.
Dimitri.
Better
There
not
you
have
are.
his MAGA hat on.
Oh, I took it off. Yeah.
Hey, I
I
like
figured
the
I didn't
hair.
want to cause any problems. Are we live yet or no?
We are live.
Oh,
for
okay.
sure. We are live in the group.
I was about
There's
to
a
say
little-
something very offensive, but I'm glad I didn't.
Well, let's not offend anybody on this page. That'll be your biggest challenge, okay? Not to offend people. So for those who don't know, Dimitri says what he thinks, right? Like, is that how we would describe this? You just
No, I
say
mean, you
what
could say
you're-
that. You could say that.
Yeah.
I think so.
Just depends. I got to figure out how to turn off these notifications on my computer. It's really annoying.
Those can be annoying, right?
Yes.
I'm
I'm
trying to see if you guys are. Hold on one second. Okay, I see you guys on the live dashboard. But then in the group. Okay, there we go. I had to refresh it. I see everybody now. We've got 3 eyes on us.
All right.
So there's 3 people here. Last time I did this, there was a handful that went all the way to 8 and then came back down and then up. So it's going to fluctuate, and we're just going to have some fun and just chat, right?
Sweet.
So given that this is lunch hour, what did you guys eat for lunch? Or are we just having drinks for lunch, Kyle?
I mean, I have my lunch right here.
Nice.
It's got barley. And, wheat. Yeah.
I heard those are nutritional.
This is the most efficient way to get the nutrients into your system is liquid. So.
Oh my God! Hopefully you're not doing keto.
It's also why I don't get sick though. If I make the inside of myself as inhospitable as possible, like nothing's going to live in there.
That's like the Al Bundy thing. Remember, like when they were like, there was like an episode where they like started eating healthy, and then there was a guy who like was like a workout freak, and then he started eating bonbons, and then he just like got sick and died. But like the Bundys were like, of course, just impervious to it because that's all they do is just eat, like crappy food. It's hilarious.
Oh my goodness, that is actually hilarious. What about you, Dimitri? What have you had for lunch today?
Unfortunately, this whole thing just kind of like threw my entire schedule out of whack. I didn't have time to eat my lunch, so I'm going to be extra cranky. And
oh my God, the blood sugar has dipped.
Dimitri's, that's right. A little disappointed. I'm just hopped up on caffeine, and that's it.
If it helps, my day's a little bit off kilter too. I've had like a banana and some pistachios. Woohoo! I've got to cook some burgers after this.
Are those Giants pistachios?
I mean, I guess that's what it says. It does say that. So
gross.
Is that like, are they just gonna be like crappy pistachios now?
They're gonna be crappy and overhyped, and once in a while you'll get lucky and one of them's gonna be really good.
Yeah. Well, you guys are joining me. So you are in San Diego, and you are exactly how far, like, where would you say your spot is, Kyle?
I'm in Garden Grove, so I'm just a few minutes away from Disneyland.
Oh, cool. Man, that's the happiest place on earth.
It definitely is. If you can afford to get in, they keep raising prices every year. It's freaking ridiculous now.
Yeah, so nobody can really go to the happy place and be happy anymore.
I got thoughts on this. Just completely derail our
yeah, well, I mean, listen, only the privileged get to be a part of the Disney world and franchise,
the
Kyle.
Disney experience.
You're acting as if like, it's meant for everyone. You know what I mean? Like if I go to Disneyland, when I go to Disneyland, I want to make sure that there's only a certain type of person there. I don't want to deal with anyone else.
The unwashed masses just.
I have to be an elitist like me. I'm looking at that Star Wars exhibit, right?
Only certain people can wear those Mickey Mouse ears, right?
But listen, if you're not in the top 10% or 15% of the income bracket, I don't want you there.
You don't deserve it.
Luckily, as SEO professionals, we are there.
Yes, we are. Yes, we are. So now we're going to transition into Green Hat Local SEO, right? That's what your agency is called. That's Absolutely. What you guys have co-founded, right? So tell me a little bit about that.
Well, it's all about making money.
Oh, I like that. That was short and sweet. I was ready for like a 2-minute little intro, and he's just like all about making money. Move on.
I'm just ready to go. I'm ready to go. I'm gonna tell you exactly what it is. Okay,
yeah, he's hopped up on caffeine and anger.
That's right. And you know what?
My
cognitive functions are a little. I'm just not there right now. But let me just say this. Like, so here's kind of what happens. Like, we always hear about black hat. We always hear about white hat. You always hear about it, right?
Yeah.
And if you've been involved in the world of SEO, you kind of say like I remember that when I was like learning, it was like all white hat, I guess, right? That's what it was.
Yeah.
And I was like excited. And I'm like, those black hat people, they're terrible. They're
now, Dimitri, what year was this? Sorry.
Oh, 2015. 2015.
Okay.
And I'm just like, whatever. I'm exaggerating, but like, kind of like, you don't really need it. It's just kind of like, it's never going to stick. It's not going to stick around. And, what ended up happening was I grew, I learned, that big update happened where all my clients just tanked. And, there I was just, floating adrift in the middle of like the SEO wasteland and started focusing on ads only. And then I met Kyle, and he was like, "Oh, no, it's possible. You can bring back life to your clients." And so, he came. It was fantastic. I love the idea. It was like, hey, let's forget about white hat, forget about green hat. Let's just do whatever it takes to make it work, which is green, and that's it. Simple.
No, that's awesome. I love the name,
I mean,
by the way. And then I was showing Kyle this picture. Money's green.
That's what we're all about. That's what we're all about.
Yeah.
I mean, and so much of the propaganda and shit that Google spat out for years, and all the white hats just fucking ate it up, right? And then the leaks came out.
I did for a while. I did. Gotta admit to it.
Yeah. And then the leaks, like the rest of us were like, no, Google's only telling you half the story. Like, why would they tell their secrets when this is all their, trade secrets, right?
Right.
And those leaks came out, and then we were all vindicated.
Yeah.
Right.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Yep.
It's like they're admitting to all this shit they said they're not doing or they don't do, and it's like, wait a minute. And also, I started off with like gray hat back in the day, building my own PBNs, running tools and stuff, and just how SEO testing is so exciting, right? Watching the green arrows go up, down, whatever. But in the last couple of years, I kind of shifted to white hat because I wanted, I don't know, like I'm very risk averse, right? So I was thinking from my perspective, okay, this is going to be like long term because I'll do what Google wants me to freaking do. And then, as you guys know, niche sites, affiliate sites, small publishers are screwed. Like sites got slapped around and all this stuff. And it's like, that's people's livelihoods. And so now I'm switching back to like this gray zone, right? Like,
what's funny is like, you say that, and I hear that, but when these big updates happen and shit, like the one that happened in March, like we were talking about earlier, like our mass page sites, like the ones that we did for our clients, like our dentists and shit, they saw like a 300% increase in traffic, and they haven't gone down. Yeah. And we just did mass pages. Yeah, we just did mass pages with duplicate content, right? I mean, there's a lot more.
Bastard.
Right.
No, I'm just kidding.
I mean, I mean, and that's what we're killing with all the stuff that isn't supposed to work, but definitely does work. You just need to know what rules to break, right?
Right. Yeah. No, it's super true. Like, I don't know about you guys, but like I'm a sucker for dramas, and I was watching the lawyer one, the law one. I can't remember what it was called. I watched it like 4 months ago, but it was all about knowing the law and knowing how to go skirt around it in a legal way, right? And winning the cases. And it kind of reminds me of SEO. Like, it's not illegal to do, right? And if you can bend the rules a little bit and you know what you're doing, well, why the heck not? I don't know. That like my positioning has changed, right? So
well, Google has to, like, when it comes to ads, Google has to actually, tell you everything that's working, what's not working. There's no like secrets to figure out because there's government regulatory bodies. Like, I'm not sure which one it is, but they're like watching them and they're making sure that they're doing everything properly, right?
Sure.
So Google has to do that. But then for SEO, they don't. They can just tell you whatever they want. They could literally lie to you because it benefits them, right? And so
absolutely.
That's why, anyone, like, I remember you'd be like, hey, does it make sense to watch that one guy, Mueller or whatever his name is,
John Mueller,
and it really doesn't matter because it doesn't matter.
Yeah. Right.
Like, it doesn't matter. Like, don't waste your time.
This reminds me, like, we need to pull a heist, like an SEO heist. Like, we need to go in big and just bank out on this, right?
That's what we've been doing.
Blow it out. I mean,
I'm not sure what you're talking about. I don't know if you want to come in for the, for the ride. That's what we've been doing.
I'll drive that car. I'll drive the car. Okay, I'm ready.
That's right. We need a getaway driver, right, Kyle?
We do. We do. No, it's interesting. So Dimitry actually was an awesome host and hosted us. Like, was it last weekend, right? Mm-hmm. It was me, Kyle, and another one of our friends, Shannon, and we hung out over the weekend, right? Like Saturday, Sunday, he made burgers. I'm like, it was super exciting. We had all kinds of discussions. There were aliens, ghosts, and a lot of SEO talk, right? But it was just, I don't know, stepping back into SEO testing, it just feels so exciting again. And like, I've been playing with some tools as well, like Agency Assassin, right? Do you guys use it?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, you're like, yeah, of course we do. And Kyle's been super cool, and he's helped me with some of the campaigns. And I'm like a kid at the candy store. I'm like, this is like, once you learn it, it's so powerful, right?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, it's ridiculous. I mean, it's like it's like any tool. If you use it properly, it's gonna like go really well. What's really interesting is that there's a lot of these tactics that I've come to, SEO tactics that I've learned from Kyle recently, and we've been able to, like, now that I kind of like, I'm able to like get in there and see behind the curtain, we've been able to actually rank clients without it, right? So this is just like icing on the cake, right? Especially for a couple of those keywords or a couple of those little areas where your dots are red and they're not green yet. And that's where you see the change happening.
Exactly. Right. That's super cool.
I'll give you an example. I'm sorry, I just feel like talking about it because I'm so excited. So there's a guy that I work with.
Dimitri, go for it.
It's a guy that I work with, and he's like a Medicare agent, and he's been there's a town called Clovis, okay, in Fresno, and it's like a separate town, but it's there. And for some reason, he has not been able to rank for Medicare supplement agent, in the Clovis area at all, right? No matter what, he ranked it all around it, just not in Clovis. Guess what got him there? AA. So agency is passing on there. I mean, he loves it. Of course, he loves it. So
that's
I mean,
awesome.
that's where it's really useful.
Right. So when you take on clients, you don't discuss like your strategies or anything. You're just getting them ranked, and that's all they want to know.
And I'm sorry,
I'm so sick of discussing that stuff with clients. Like, all that should matter is that we're getting you phone calls, right?
Yeah.
I'm so tired of like that's exactly what I was going to say. I don't want to get, what set of deliverables are you going to give me? You know what? Like,
right here.
How about your phone?
Right there.
How about that phone ring? Do you want a set of deliverables? Do you want me to give you some bullshit on a stick? Absolutely. Yeah, sure. Like, oh yeah, I made you 4 blog posts, and
Right. And I've also had it where people will also offer, or SEOs will also offer bullshit deliverables, like adding blog posts just to keep charging the client, or and I've also had clients who wanted reports, but like they never check them out. You know what I mean? It's one of those things where I guess if the client wants it, I'll do it, but like it can't be anything complicated from my end. Like, it has to be a simple report, or hey, look at what I did for you. Here's a pretty picture. Are you happy? Like, that's what I would want to do.
Like, man, but we have been in this for too long, and we are far too old to put up with bullshit like that. Like, I'm serious. I'm sick of it. Like, I'm not going to get, like, if we get a client who's like, like Dimitri said, like, oh, well, I'm expecting 4 high DA links this month, and I want to see a agency analytics report. We're like, fuck you. You got phone calls. Just fuck out of here. I need to do my work.
It's like, I mean, the problem is that you're still coming across agencies that are like, we'll get you 100 keywords, and get you traffic. They focus on traffic, and it's like, that's like the easiest thing ever. Okay, like, you want traffic? I mean, so it's like, I'm surprised people actually still do that, and they do. Apparently, it works.
Right.
I tell the story a lot, but I mean, a few years ago, I came across this dentist who was like, my agency is great. I just, I'm not getting the phone calls and leads that I want and stuff. So I was like, okay, go ahead and let me see what they're ranked for. And I shit you not, one of the keywords that they were most proud of was most comfortable dentist in city.
Oh shit.
One of them was left-handed dentist in city.
No, what does that even make sense? Like,
wait,
how does that even make sense?
Left-handed.
Like,
well, I'm left-handed, and I can tell you right now that makes sense, because people that are left-handed are just more skilled at pretty much everything.
Genetically superior, right? Yeah.
I'm sorry,
but and this is
the
bullshit.
clients.
But this is the bullshit reports that they were giving, and they were so proud of, right?
You still get someone that wants them, here and there, and the worst part is like, if you're doing like white label work, the white label client, hey, they're wonderful people, but they'll be asking for the same stupid reports, and I'm like, do you understand what the fuck we're doing? Like, do you understand? Because I don't think you do.
Right.
Well, they want this. Like, are you serious? Like, I have to now create a report for you.
Right.
It's frustrating.
Right. All the while, you see that their phone calls are just going up month after month after month. Their form fills are going up month after month after month. But Yeah.
Well, here's what's going to happen. Screenshot that little graph going up and up and up, and that's what you're going to get in the report, like literally. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like,
Yeah.
I
And
mean,
that's
I
what
don't know.
that's
Yeah, SEO is like one of those things where it's like it's not about the hours you put in, it's about the strategies you know and how quickly you
Right.
can get
100%.
results. And you know what I mean? So if you
Yeah.
want me to sit here and do labor work for no good reason,
Mm-hmm.
we're not a match anyway, right?
Mm.
Like
Yeah,
I don't know.
it's like I'm sure you've heard that joke or story ever about the mechanic who charges $1,000. You know, he charges $5 to go knock on the engine and $995 to know where to knock.
Right.
Like that's what we do, right?
Yeah.
But I
Yeah.
mean, and this is a reason why I don't like working with certain industries anymore, because some blue collar industries, some blue collar workers and shit, like they equate hours worked with productivity, right?
Yeah.
And I can't deal with that. Like
Right.
like it,
Yeah.
I said before, like, so we're launching our free Until You Rank program. I'm looking through all of our grid reports and rankings and stuff, and I'm having a hard time paring these down because I'm literally looking at something like this commercial office building. So on September 4th, they were literally nowhere in the map pack, and then yesterday they're at 68%. Right?
Wait, are you sharing your screen? Am I supposed to see this?
Not sharing my screen. Should I share my screen?
I mean, I would like to, because I'm a visual person, Kyle. I don't know about you, but I'm an auditory and visual learner.
Well, let me see if this
you.
even works.
Does it work for you? Like I've never used Restream, so I don't quite know.
Can you guys see?
Hold on one second. I have to do something. Show. Let's see it.
I see something.
I do see like a very red graph. Aggressive.
Right. So this is September 4th. This is for office space for rent. And then this is September 18th, office space for rent. Right?
Jesus. Nice. Yeah,
right.
yeah. For sure.
But see, the thing is you look at this and shit, and it could have literally taken us. Well, it did literally take us like just a few hours of work, because we know what we're doing, right? You fire up Agency Assassin, you fire up SEO Neo, and then you get stuff like that. But to some people, it's like, oh, then what am I even paying you for, right? And those are the people that I just got so sick of working with.
Yep.
Right?
Well, they're paying you for doing all the testing, for discovering the wrong tools and the right tools, right? Like, sorry, was that me or you guys?
No, that was me. I'm sorry.
Oh, I know, it's all good.
It's my lunch bell. It's my time to go get my lunch. I'll be back, guys. All right.
Hey, bring me a chocolate milk. No, like they're paying you for the years you've invested into SEO. It's not just you get the idea.
And that's what a lot of clients need to understand. That's what a lot of SEOs really need to hammer into their clients. Like, you're not paying me to sit here and hand create citations for you and write all these blog posts for you, right? You're paying me for the 5-10 years of knowledge I've gained to do the things that matter and push the needle. And sometimes it's as SEOs, a lot of us have imposter syndrome. Like, it's still something that I deal with, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And it's hard to communicate that to clients, right?
But well, let's take a pause right here. Dimitri, do you struggle with imposter syndrome as well? Or not really?
I think everyone does. I think everyone at times has that. I think you're always going to sit there and just, I mean, or rather maybe anyone who I think has like this goal set in mind, right? You are always going to think that it's just, you're not good enough. You're not worthy, I'll tell you this though. I don't have imposter syndrome when, people want to ask me to have meetings. I don't have any of those issues because I hate meetings. And one thing Green Hat Local SEO doesn't do is we don't do L10 meetings. Okay. You can kick those right out the door, right? We don't waste our time with all that kind of stuff and having to explain ourselves. I've done that in the past, of course, right?
Yeah.
Like, oh, you're supposed to do that, but you sit there and explain yourself. You're talking to somebody, they don't understand what you're saying.
Right.
All you have to say to them, do you want to get found on Google? Yes. Okay, great.
Right. Let me go do my thing. Just get the fuck out of my way and let me do my thing.
Yeah.
Yeah. I hear you. I totally hear you, because I have wasted so much time on reports and meetings and this and that. And like I said, I don't mind if they want something or they want a visual confirmation of some results or whatever, right? Like, or maybe they want like a 10-minute phone call or whatever, something reasonable. But I've also had it where people will, like, they've hired me. Okay, cool. But before I can even finish the audit, there's a list of like 30 questions. And I'm like, dude, like I can't do that. Either I can answer your questions or do the work. So you get to choose which one. And also, you didn't pay me for strategy or a consult. Like, you're paying me to do the work in itself. I can give you a high level, explanation, but I can't sit here and do all of this. Let me check up on the group. Let's see. We've got a couple of eyes on us. Oh, hey, Farhan. Good day to you too. George is or was here. I can't tell. He was excited about Disneyland.
Oh.
Nathan has a question. Do you pursue clients that have low cost services? And in parentheses, it says ding repair, carpet cleaning, etc.
So carpet cleaning. Okay, so yeah, carpet cleaning is stupid cheap. It's because there's no money in there, right? I mean, the margins are so low. It's one of those things to where there's this big trend for the past few years called sweaty startups, right? This guy, Nick Huber, did it. And he uses this big guru now about how you can start a carpet cleaning company in a weekend, right? You just get your clients first and then go get the rug doctor or whatever and do that, which means that everybody's now competing on price, which means even a few years ago when I was taking carpet cleaners, our margins were small, but those have gotten even smaller still, right?
Yeah.
Which means also that if their margins are that small and they have that low of a budget, they're going to be bitches to work with, right? Like, they don't have the money to spend, right? Like the high ticket clients I've worked with, guys spending $10,000 a month on SEO, $20,000 a month. And it's like, here's a check, go do your thing.
Right.
And it's like, somebody paying $300 a month, they're like, okay, it's $300 a month. I'm trusting you with this. I'm trusting you with the livelihood of my family. I trust that you will work your magic. And I'm like, I don't have time for this.
Oh.
So to answer the question, if they got the money, sure. But this is greenhouse. Money.
Oh yeah, sorry.
No, go ahead.
I was going to say too, like when I started out, I took anything I could get. Okay.
Yeah, of course.
Let me be straight up. Like, I took anything I can get. What I think happened was there was a point where you've done this enough to where you know what's worth it and what's not. So if I get someone that comes to me and they're like, I'm a restaurant and I'm like, no, sorry, like, not going to do it. Right. Unless you just want me to like set up a website or something for you and just charge you basic. But there's just these things that aren't worth it. And I think that's where I wouldn't go after that.
No, and it's true. Like, it depends where you are in your career, but I've definitely had clients at both end of the spectrum, right? Like, I understand that they've entrusted me with something big here and they're paying me and stuff, but it is people with the smallest budget that are stressed out because you're their only hope, maybe. But what they don't realize is that it's not worth my sanity either. You know what I mean? Like, it's stressful.
Yeah.
It's just stressful.
It's
like, sorry, Kyle.
It's not even that. It's there is a certain threshold that you need to spend to make SEO worthwhile for you.
Sure,
like these guys who are spending $150, $200 a month on SEO, like, I mean, they're spending money not seeing results in 6 months. It's because they haven't really hit that threshold yet. Like, you spend too little, you're just throwing your money away each month. Right?
Yeah, that's true. That's very, very true. So, I mean, Kyle saying no, it sounds like, and Dimitri is saying it just depends on where you are with your career, which makes sense too, right?
Was that, wait, who asked that question? Nathan?
Hold on one second. I have no idea where my window went. No. Yes, it was Nathan Clark.
So, like, Nathan, I mean, like, what I guess my question for you would be is that, like, what is it that you're trying to go after, or what is it? Is that like a current client? Is that something that you're going after? Like, what is it that you're doing? That'd be a question I'd like to know. I mean, because again, it all depends on where you're at.
Right. I'll see if he says anything back in a minute, but this is super interesting. So we are, I mean, wow, the time does fly quickly. We're halfway into the lunch hour. So who wants to make the announcement for what we're going to do for a couple of the group members? Like, we talked about this.
Kyle's really good at this. I'm going to just let him say it.
Sweet. Really okay.
Making announcements.
Go for it, Kyle. Bring it home.
So the announcement is that we are going to take a GBP and work on it and rank it and work our magic for free.
Okay.
The catch is you don't complain, you don't bitch at us, you don't ask for reports.
Okay.
Right.
Right. So to expand on that, Kyle and Dimitri are going to help out one person, and I will help out one person. So we'll pick two people. So if you're interested, does anybody else, Dimitri, did you want to partake in how
there's a couple of things there. You can't have a GBP that's like, that's what is it when it gets
suspended,
burned, suspended,
none of that stuff. It's got to be real, okay, and there has to be a WordPress website connected to it.
Yes, that's actually really, really good.
Yeah, those are the two things, and it has to be one of those things where if we're going to help you, you can't, like Kyle said, like if we say, hey, I need you to add this tomorrow, like do it, like here, or let us just do it, give us access. It has to be something like that. We can't, like, it's not going to be conversations, no meetings. I don't want to Zoom, but we'll communicate, but we don't need to waste time, talking about whatever.
Yep.
Absolutely. Right. And if you're interested, I think I'll make a new post and have people comment in it. Like I'll tag you guys in it, and then people can leave a comment to be considered in the drawing or whatever. And then we can both, or all three of us can pick 2 people or whatever. Does that sound about right? Does that sound chill?
Love it.
Sounds like a good time to me.
Yeah.
I mean, it'll be fun. Like, that's fun. Like, it'll be fun.
Absolutely.
I think it'll be fun.
I mean, this is some shit where we are offering free value for our services right here, right? Like usually you charge 1 to 2 or 3K for a client, and we're going to do this for freaking free. So I cannot wait to make that post and see what comes of it.
Yeah, I mean, it'd be interesting. Like, I would especially like it if, there was like an additional challenge associated with it, because that just gets me all fired up. So I'd love that. Like,
I mean, what kind of challenge do you want?
I'm saying is, like, maybe there's another person out there that says that we don't know what we're talking about, and that person that submits their GBP is in communication with that person. Please let me and Kyle know so that we can then it'll invigorate us, and it'll just be even more fun. Making sure that kind of we prove everyone.
So Dimitri wants you to talk shit to him when you bring your GBP. Like just talk shit.
Yeah,
like
he likes being degraded.
Yeah, say like this green hat is like, it looks like this shit. Like, green hat is shit. It's like, to say that. And I'm going to say, okay, fantastic.
I mean, I only hang out with ballers, right? So you guys must be all right. You know what I'm saying?
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
You got good taste in people.
That's right.
Well, I'll take it. I just had a thought and it went away that fast. So what else is on your plate, guys? What else should we talk about? We've got another 20, 30 minutes.
20, 30 minutes. I mean,
what isn't? I mean, all the shit that we've been doing, like I said, so, we use AA, and then, I mean, Moon, you've seen where we've been killing it using like SEO Neo, Backlink Factory. Like, we're just putting fucking content in hidden divs. Like, we're hiding content in hidden divs and shit, and getting ranked all over the place.
Yeah, this guy, like, he showed me in person the content in the hidden div tag. So I was like, oh, that's a sweet one. Yeah, you guys are definitely doing some cool stuff. So are those all the tools that you use? SEO Neo, Backlink Factory, I think you said?
Those are the majority of the tools. Like, we use so one thing that we do too, so we use Backlink Factory, right? And then we use Ranking Factory Revolution. And then what we do is, you're creating all these backlinks in Backlink Factory, right? So you're creating all these driving directions and shit, all these manipulated data URLs, putting those into Backlink Factory, getting that sheet, public, but then just sits there, right? So then what you do is you put that into a Google Calendar, have it repeat every 30 minutes, just forever, right? And you can do that with Ranking Factory. And then all of a sudden, Google is hitting that sheet every 30 minutes forever, constantly recrawling these links. And with our testing, we know Google goes 8,000 rows down. So as long as you have less than 8,000 rows in your Google sheet, you're going to get those links just hit constantly, right? Wow. So all of a sudden, you have Google constantly revisiting your GBP and stuff.
Isn't that really awesome, though?
That's pretty fucking. I guess I'm not supposed to cuss, but I'm gonna say that's pretty fucking cool.
Right. Wait, you're not supposed to?
Then you take your your sheets from your G stacks and you throw those into a press release. All of a sudden, you've got your G stacks just with hundreds of embeds and all these high authority sites. Then you take those press releases, You take those URLs, you put those into Backlink Factory, and then you put the Backlink Factory in Google Calendar. So now all of a sudden you have a G-Stack in these press releases. Your press releases get sent out, and then you have Google hitting these press releases over and over and over again, hitting the G-Stack over and over and over again. It's just one big cycle of Google hitting all of your content and stuff. Right?
So this is really cool. I think next time, if we were to do this, right, like you need a whiteboard. Professor Kyle needs a whiteboard to draw things out. But you can reveal as much as you want or as little as you want. That's cool.
Yeah. I also want to make sure everyone's aware that we do like Google and Facebook ads or Meta ads as well, right? We do whatever works. So whatever works. It's not like it's just only SEO, right? So we do whatever works, and so that's what makes us Green Hat. Whatever works. So
fair enough. So, and you're a beast at ads, right, Dimitri?
I mean, what I am is I've studied it and I've tried it and I've worked on it, and what it is that it's really, really simple. If you just set it up correctly, and if you just set it up correctly, and you know your attribution, and you're able to track it, you can make it work, right? You could sit there and say, "Oh, I'm the best, I'm the this, I'm that," but you know what? If you're not like tracking, I've come across so many people, and I'm just like, "What are you doing here?" Like you're just doing Performance Max, like what? And that's it. And so, no, I mean, I'm just saying it really does come down to that. So that's like really important to understand. You got to be like, and I know people always say, what are you like, master of none, right? Is it like master, like what is
Jack of all trades?
Jack of all trades. Yeah.
But you know what? You have to be versatile. Like you have to be able to go into a situation and be able to find like situations and like really find solutions. And then you end up also being almost like a, kind of like what is it? Those companies that they come in and fix other companies. I forgot their name. Like McKinsey or like, whatever those companies are, like, that's what is it? Like whatever consultants, like that's what you end up having to become anyway. Cause you're going to have to come in, you're going to come into a situation. And once you find that you have a client that like needs something done that no one else can figure out, and then you can figure that out, that's when you become money. That's like your golden ticket. Because like literally one of the things I do is I go and do I do job postings for one of my clients. I'm not even kidding. I go on LinkedIn, I do a job posting. That's money for them. I mean, they love it. Like I just saved a person, a plastic surgeon who's busy. Like they don't want to sit there and do it. I do it for them. So guess what? I mean, that's simple, right? You're like, really? But again, that makes them happy, And so
because we're talking about so many things,
yes.
Are they looking to hire someone and you're being helpful, or is this a part of some strategy that you're?
It's a part of this. It's like when you find a good client that you actually care about. I get it. Like, it's not about like, I'm just talking about clients that are like really kind of like those lifelong clients, right? They become like your partners.
They're rare. Yeah.
I'm just saying that, they're rare. Of course. I don't do that for anybody, but I'm just saying like, that's where, again, like you have to be in a way versatile. But if you go into a situation and you find all these things, let's say it's a brand new client, and you see all these problems, if you go in there and you basically provide value to them, right? Well, that's Green Hat too. Green Hat's all about providing value. Like if you provide value for them in some capacity, well, you just, you're making them money. So it's not all about just like, I'm going to come in and I'm just going to do your titles and your metas. And then I'm going to work on I'm going to run what is it? Like a SEMrush report and tell you all the things that I'm going to fix, which are a bunch of, and here's my SEMrush report. And I love it when people say, well, someone came to me and gave me the SEMrush report. I'm like, you know what? That's all bullshit.
We don't wipe our asses with those. They're fucking worthless.
I don't waste my time with that. Keyword research, by the way, go ahead. I want everyone to keep using SEMrush and Ahrefs for their keyword research. Please keep doing it.
Now, keyword research, I understand. SEMrush, it helps me audit. Like I'll use it for what it's needed, but I don't just hand it over. You know what I mean? Like, fix all these things. Like when you audit,
so many people just do that though.
They do. They absolutely do. I mean, there's a variety of things. You know what I mean?
We only use it for one thing. It's just to look at the history. Like your organic history did this. That's it. And it's only helpful before you have their access to their search console. Otherwise, it's a waste.
Yeah. No, I hear you. And I really thought Dimitri was about to say he uses it to wipe his ass too. And I was like,
no, honestly,
I think we got the point, dude.
I just want you to understand, Moon. I just want you to understand that that's not possible because it is like a software. So
yeah, absolutely. That's true too. I mean, you got to have a printer, paper, all. It's not soft, you know. Like, don't
you know
hurt
what?
yourself.
You know what? Through God, all things are possible. So why don't you go ahead and jot that down? Make this happen.
Can I take a bidet with my cell phone by any chance? Is that, and I can have like a SEMrush bidet in my cell phone. And this way, I'll squirt some water just in the right spot.
Make
this
it happen,
conversation is really headed elsewhere.
Make it happen.
I'm telling you, that would actually be huge.
Oh my God, this is the type of
hey, Kyle, you know what we should do? We should create the SEO's bidet. So basically, what happens is that while you're doing your reading and your like research, right? You have the SEO bidet.
Oh my God.
Well, let's register SEObidet.com. We'll get an order off Alibaba, slap our logo on there. This is a much better idea than my SEO OnlyFans, by the way.
SEO OnlyFans is the best thing ever.
Oh my God. And bidets should be everywhere, by the way, just to note.
And you're going to see the logo multiple times a day. So yeah, like that's genius.
Yeah, absolutely. In some countries, it's always, I mean, it's more standard than, I mean, I rarely see them here. But we went from SEO stuff to bidets. So
really quick. I mean, the problem is that we're not getting enough questions asked of us. Because I mean, we
that's what it is. Well,
we're not getting. I'm getting progressively more drunk. So
and you can absolutely just do whatever it takes. Here's what's happening. So last time I did this, I had about 7 or 8 people join, and they kept me company throughout. And I talked to them, and we went back and forth. This time it's only a couple. It could be that it's like almost. We started this at 2, 3, 4, 5. So on the East Coast, it's already 5 o'clock. So maybe we need to do it a little earlier. Like we can set ahead of time. We'll agree on a better day and time. If we can do it earlier in the day.
We should have like topics like prepared and stuff. Like we were talking about SEO Neo earlier today, Moon, you and I, showing you like our diagrams and stuff that we use.
I mean,
what about this though too? If there's questions people want to ask in particular, right? And then we could just have those sort of lined up, and it doesn't really have to be like, again, because it's recorded, right? So it's fine. Right. But I mean, you could line that up too, and then that'll be fun. I mean, that'll make it a lot more fun.
So what I'll do is like I'll do it a week ahead of time. Yeah, I'll do it a week ahead of time. I made a post but it was again not enough time, right? So I'll make the events ahead of time so people are notified days ahead of time, and we'll have more stuff to talk about too. Let's see what else.
Well, I mean, there's always stuff to talk about. Like I said, we were talking, when we were talking about SEO Neo and stuff, and like the things that you can do with it, right?
Yeah,
and that's all the link building that we do. Like, you don't need to buy guest posts. Like, I think this year we've probably gotten less than 5 niche edits for our clients.
What? Right? So you're saying you don't buy guest posts of any kind or PBN links?
I mean, you can think of SEO Neo as like PBN links, I guess.
Okay.
Because you can take this, you can create your properties and then just keep posting to those same properties, which I guess could turn it. You can consider that a PBN.
Okay.
Right?
So here, why don't we start with this? Right. What kind of links can you build with SEO Neo? Let's start with that. Let's start with the basics.
Yeah, a lot of it is so you can do Web 2.0 links, like bloggers and shit. They have what's called authority links, or it's things like MySpace.com and stuff like that. It's really the free. It's really what it is whatever free links that can be had are going to be in SEO Neo, and then they added on cloud properties too. So you can do your Amazon, Wasabi, Linode, DreamHost, stuff like that. You can get your cloud pages on those and then automate that through SEO Neo as well. And then URL shorteners, and they also added on blog commenting and stuff too.
Oh, so, cool.
Yeah, I mean, for local, even for something super competitive, like we're ranking like car accident lawyers in the Bronx.
That's
the Bronx using SEO Neo.
That's pretty cool. I want to start testing with it too. So we're definitely going to talk more in depth about it. So I know with internal linking, right? Like doing tiered internal linking can be super effective. Is the idea something similar with backlinking as well with SEO Neo?
Yeah. Yeah, so I mean, Google goes 5 tiers down. Like we proved this. You can go ahead and it's a super easy. If you want to start testing, this is a super easy test to do. Like you get your 5 test pages, right? And then you on one page you leave no links, right? That's your control page, right?
Yeah.
And or you get 6 pages. You got one your control page, and the other 5 you do one link, and then one link with 1 tiered, one with 2 tiered, 3 tiered, 4 tiered, 5 tiered, right? And then you can go even farther and do like 6 or 7 tiers, right? And then you can, I guarantee you, the one, if you have it all the pages the same, the one with 5 tiered links is going to be ranking the highest, and it'll stall out right there, right?
Wow.
If you go 6, 7, 8 tiers deep, it's not going to matter because Google doesn't go 6, 7, 8 tiers deep.
Okay.
So SEO Neo does all of that for you, right? It has all these diagrams all pre-built into the software that are tiered. And then you set it to run, and then it builds all the links for you, right? I mean, it's powerful enough that, I just showed you guys yesterday, we were building links to one of our clients, our nationwide clients, who's ranking nationwide, to his social media properties. And then you saw like where we started building it, 30 days later, it just went just like that.
That's crazy. 30 days.
Mm-hmm.
So, okay. So I'll say this, like these tools are super powerful, but half the time with me, they miss the mark on user friendliness. So it can be very hard to like set up and then get something. I get really frustrated if the setup process isn't like somewhat easy. So is it easy to set up, or is it is it one of those things where it's a little hard to set up, but it's worth your time to do it? So
I think it's incredible. I think it's hard to set up. Someone like me, for me, it was hard, to set up like SEO Neo. You got to make sure you use all the right proxies. There's a lot of elements to it that make it actually really time consuming, which is why a lot of times what people do is they'll just pay us to just run like an SEO Neo run for them. And here's the catch. I mean, it costs actually at a certain point, like all those proxies cost a lot of money, right? Because you got these residential proxies.
Yeah.
So it costs a lot of money. So it could actually be more effective for like an SEO freelancer or someone who's just like, I don't need to invest in the equipment. I'm just going to get the job done anyway. And that's actually some of the things that we do. So we'll sell like a package, like a $300 package or maybe $299 or whatever it is. And basically it's like we just rank, a page, we do some Neo and we do some like Assassin, and we take it like that. So I would say that like, unless you're really capable and you're really patient, you can run a whole campaign and then you go look at it later and it says failed. And you're like, what? And and so like, that's what I would say. It is pretty hard, but I mean, you could do it.
Like Dimitri said, it does take some know-how, because you got to know like what proxies to use, right? You're most likely you're going to have to use a VPS. You got to know, you got to have all these emails at your disposal and stuff too.
Yep.
Okay. Right? Fair enough. I mean, I do wish that like, so with Agency Assassin, like there was a little bit of an intimidation factor, but like once you use it for one campaign, I feel comfortable enough with it, right? Like, but everything seems to be built in. It's just I got to worry about like proxies and this and that. I don't have to worry about anything. No. I just got to learn to use the tool once, and that's it.
Right.
That's
with this, it seems a little more complicated. So,
At the same time, though, like Agency Assassin only ranks you in maps, right? Like no amount of Agency Assassin is going to rank you organically. Whereas, like, so with SEO Neo, like we had nationwide retailers that were ranking, right? So awesome. It's a lot more setup, but it's because there's more things that you can do with it.
Yeah.
And I think with that's the advantage of Agency Assassin as well. There again is that it has that all built in. So it does take the time. It just kind of eliminates that time.
Yeah. So how long have you guys been using SEO Neo for? Is it something new you added, or is it something you've been running for like 2-4 years?
Oh.
SEO Neo, we've been using it for a few years. I started using it a few months after it came out, but before that, we were using SEO Autopilot, which is like a desktop version of it, and I was using that for years and years and years.
Okay.
Yeah,
So
it's the
what?
same concept. It doesn't have the cloud blogs in there, but it has the Web 2.0s and everything like that. But it's desktop.
Okay.
It's desktop specific, and I mean SEO Neo is too, but SEO Neo is just a lot more like refined. It's like SEO
Okay.
Autopilot on steroids. Yeah.
I mean, I'll pay for the refinement. You know what I mean? I'll pay
Yeah.
for the results. I'll take the initial pain in the butt, and as long as it's going to pay off, right? So
Right.
that's pretty
Yeah.
neat. That's cool. Let's see. Just
Yeah.
want to make sure if there are any questions, I catch them in time.
I think we drove everybody away. We're too real.
No, yeah, man. I think that's.
Oh, well, George has a couple comments for us. One is just, what? SEO isn't easy? Question mark, question mark.
Coming in hot.
And his question is, what is your favorite SEO fallacy?
Ooh, that's a good question. That's a really good question.
Yeah, it is. It's a damn good one.
My favorite SEO. Okay, my favorite SEO fallacy is that you can learn SEO just by listening to all the influencers and taking a couple Udemy courses. Right. So if you want to learn SEO if you want to learn SEO by listening to like Joy Hawkins and Darren Shaw and shit like that, you're gonna be 6 months behind everybody else. Right. The only way to learn SEO is to get down and dirty and get into the weeds and start breaking shit.
You know, that's how I got started. It's like once I knew, like, oh, you can make money from websites. What's SEO? Like, I must have thrown up like 7 to 10 like WordPress websites and just went ham on them. You know what I mean? And
Right.
no amount of like
Except not
listening
ham,
to
it was like beef or chicken or something, right?
That's true.
Beef on
That
them.
was not very halal of me to say. Yeah, exactly. But yeah, no amount of like listening to. You can have a basic understanding, but you do not know how the website is going to react with Google's algorithm, right? Like you don't know.
Well,
yeah.
Here's my thing, and I'm not sure if this is necessarily a specific SEO fallacy, but it kind of goes in hand with what Kyle was saying. My issue is that like, so you'll get an email and says, hey, my email open rate is 5% and email still works. Email marketing still works. Or, SEO is just, here's what I did. And what happens is that those guys that are out there that have been around for a while, what they're doing is they're marketing to marketers. And the easiest thing on the planet is to market to marketers, because I'm always online looking for something. And so is another marketer. Marketing for marketers is the worst, is like the easiest thing. So if you want to learn from somebody, make sure you're not learning from somebody who's marketing to marketers, because that means that they're done. Right. So if I'm going to learn from somebody, now I made the mistake of doing that before too. And guess what? I paid for that digital marketer convention and I'm sitting there walking around. I'm like, oh my God, these guys are amazing. Because I didn't know what the hell I was doing at the time.
Yeah.
Guess what? I realized pretty quickly, I'm like, this shit doesn't work. Like I could sit there and put titles and metas and, and make sure you do this and make sure you do that. And like use Ahrefs to this and Ahrefs to that. Oh, here's another thing, right? We met another guy once. I'm not going to say his name. And he was like supposed to be some rock star, but he was working for some enterprise level law firm company. And so of course he was doing really well, because anytime he pressed submit, right, and posted that blog, it ranked. Well, of course it will. So
right.
If you want to learn from anybody, don't learn from somebody who works in enterprise SEO.
Yes.
Okay? Whose name starts with an N and ends with an L.
L.
Right?
Or the brown or the white.
By no means, I paid for that at Neil Patel course at one point. 100% I did years ago, because I'm like, oh, I need to learn this stuff. And at the time, it did get me started, because I didn't know what Search Console was, and I didn't know what, whatever. And I remember with the digital marketing convention, by the way, when I was there, they know what they said. They're like, you need to know Google Tag Manager. And if like I was like, oh fuck, I got to learn this Google Tag Manager stuff. So again, I'm running around. And again, what it all comes down to again is don't learn from people who market to marketers.
That's fair. That's absolutely fair.
That's a great point about the enterprise, because enterprise level SEOs, they can do whatever they want and then they're going to rank. Like even if they get like a 1.5% increase in like, traffic or whatever, I mean, that could be 50,000, 100,000, visits.
Yeah,
right?
exactly. it's a whole different type of business. It's a whole different type of setup, circumstance, however you want to look at it.
And let me throw this in there. Sorry, Moon. Let me throw this in there too. Same thing with people who do like Google or Facebook ads, right? So if I work for a company and my budget per day is $5,000, okay?
Yeah.
With a $5,000 a day budget, you're going to learn really fast what works and what doesn't, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Try a $50 or $20 a day budget and see how that works. It's not as easy, right?
No, it's not.
What happens is that, again, you want to, if you're going to learn, and then again, the other problem is that who's going to teach you if, because they're, that most time people aren't going to teach you how to do that stuff, especially if they're the real ones that are actually going after the businesses. That's another problem. So again, don't go after the big time names. Test like I would test, like everyone else does. Test.
Right.
And you might come across something that it's like a little gold mine of yours, and you take that nugget and you run with it.
And that's true. Like it all comes from testing. Like I know when I got started years and years and years ago, I did not have money for like awesome tools and buying like backlinks and shit. And that's how I stumbled on page, right? Like that's how I learned how to squeeze the juice out of on page. And and it turns out that a lot of people weren't doing that at that time. And because it was, you throw money at backlinks and you'll rank, right?
Well,
but I was like, go ahead.
Yeah, I mean, I was one of those people, to be honest. Yeah. Like, back in like 2008, 2009, it was so easy, just like fire up like FCS or something and then just shoot 100,000 links to your page. Like I was getting like ranking like one page affiliate sites, getting 100,000 links to there and then ranking those. Right. So I did that on page for a long time.
Yeah. So yeah, that's the advantage I had is I saved the money and I could rank for like work from home type of terms without throwing any backlinks.
Right.
God, stuff was so easy back then. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. I mean, it's good for us now because all the, the SEO industry is like a barbell now. Like, there's people at the top who are really good. There's a lot of people in the middle who really, they're middling, but that's getting smaller and smaller every year as it gets harder. And then there's a lot of people in the back end who are just shit, who are just pumping out reports and SEMrush reports and shit and calling it SEO. Right.
Yeah.
But people on our level are just getting smaller and smaller every year.
Yeah, absolutely. I think if you can start, if you're the type of person that likes to investigate the why, like why did the algorithm reward this site or why did it tank it? Like this is a great career for you. You can make a lot of money, but if you've been just throwing crap at the wall, your exit's going to be soon. You're going to get very frustrated with these Google updates coming,
Well, there's one right now.
Oh, great.
There's a massive one going on right now. It's been going on for like the last month, right, Kyle? Like if you look at that.
The August one. So that's the thing about Google.
So there was one that started at least for local SEO at the beginning of September. I think right around my birthday.
Happy birthday!
What's your birthday? What year were you born?
I was born in '85. I'm almost at the big 40.
What's your mother's maiden name?
Keep going. Fish it out.
Yeah, go ahead. Go ahead. Let me know.
Almost. Give me a few more of these.
All right.
Let me get to your place. Another more burgers, more bourbon. We'll talk about.
Oh my God! But yeah, you could rank with like shitty PBNs back in the day. Like throw a few $100s and rake in a few $1,000s.
Exactly.
On what you.
Yeah, and I never even did that stuff. I just did like basic white hat stuff until I met Kyle basically, and I was like, oh, there's a whole new world to this. And so, I mean, I'm going to tell you right now that like it does seem like it doesn't work, right? It does seem like there's all these things, and but yeah, it's possible. It's possible. You just you got to try.
Well, I mean, things don't happen right away anymore. Like links can take 4 to 6 weeks to kick in.
I mean, that's not too bad considering coming from the blogging and affiliate side of things. To me, it's not bad, but I understand that like I remember like making changes and within hours or minutes you would see.
Oh, right.
Like, what I mean?
That was the good old days.
That was the good old days.
Yeah, I mean, now, okay, I'll take it back. You can get stuff done that quickly, but you need to have traffic from a ton of different sources for that to work. So you
Okay.
can't just rely on Google traffic, right? Like if you're a blogger and you're just relying on SEO and shit, you're gonna have a really
Yeah.
hard time. But if you're spending money on like Facebook ads, on like
Right.
Instagram ads, on Pinterest ads, and you're getting all that social media traffic, then Google gives you a lot more love. And then you can see things happen in like a week or 2 weeks, right?
Right.
Yeah. So like invest, just throw a couple $100 a month onto Facebook ads or whatever, get traffic ads over to your site. And that's going to help
Yeah.
you immensely.
Gonna have to test that out. I just got so burnt out like dealing with the Google updates for the last 2 years. I mean, I did well enough and then I didn't, right? So it's
Right.
the unreliability, but jumping back into local SEO, it's just been a lot of fun too. And exploring new tools that are just like, I don't know, these tools are just easy, right? Once you learn them and you know what works, like you don't have to sit there and do 100 different things. You just know your strategy and they're gonna do it for you, literally.
Right.
Like, what a time we fucking live in.
Right. It's like, imagine if you tried building a house without like a power drill, right?
Oh my
You
God.
could do it. It's just going to be a lot harder, right?
Yeah.
But
Yeah,
you try
it
to, you get your power drill and shit in there, like it's going to make things a lot easier.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then
Absolutely.
you should also watch out for anyone who tells you they're I'm gonna use this AI and you're gonna learn how to do SEO with AI. And there's always these like, once AI came out, like there's always those people. Like remember, it was always like funnels, right? You
Yeah.
got to learn how to do the funnel. If you don't learn how to do the funnel, then you're like not doing it. And then you got to then sell a course. Like once you perfect something, you got to sell a course. And
Hey.
that's what you have to do. No. But I'm just saying,
Yeah,
that's all they did.
Yeah.
Right? They didn't continue to test. They didn't continue. They just figured out one thing and they sold the course. And once that kind of died down, let me sell another course. And so like, I don't know, that's my thing. I avoid that.
Yeah, it is hard in the industry to know who you can really like listen to, and if it's
Nobody
the
else,
wrong
just
person.
us. Nobody else has the answers, just us.
That's it. You guys heard it
Here's your
here
answer.
first. That's actually funny. Hold on. Let me see if George has left us any more comments.
George sounds like a very like reluctant. I think George sounds like a reluctant SEO type, right? He doesn't seem like exuberant. He seems the reluctant type. I don't know if he's watching us still, but I'm curious.
I hope he is.
I think he is because he's left us a few comments, but this stupid thing is glitching. Give me 1 second. Let me reload it. There we go. Okay, so he says, I'm a Nigerian prince, and if you wire me $100, I'll send you back 10K.
Oh, yes.
Yes, please. I'll send you the 100 soon, okay? I'll send you all my details really soon. He says, I hate marketing. And you know what? Who here hates marketing? Do you guys hate marketing?
I love it.
What does he mean by that? I don't elaborate.
I think it's a broad statement, broad enough. But I mean, I guess there's different facets of marketing. But do you enjoy it in general, or you're like, I don't like marketing?
I eat, sleep, and breathe it. Like I fucking love it. Like I read everything I can about it. Like copywriting, I love copywriting. I love SEO. Like I love it. Like it's
copywriting is the shit. Yeah, and I love specifically for me, I do love like Facebook groups, like marketing and Facebook groups, or writing case studies and stuff like that. Like, because it plays a little bit into copywriting too, right? So, that stuff is. But George doesn't, and that's what fucking matters.
Well, the thing is that marketing. I'm not sure if I'm not sure if I really understand what he means, but like maybe he means like the concept of marketing yourselves, or maybe he means like the concept of like what it's become, where it's like, again, you have, like Kyle said, you have the people in the top, the people in the middle, and the people in the back, and then they all say, I'm in marketing. It's like whenever you go work for a company, they have like a marketing director, and that person is telling you about images and colors and how that really is going to make things work. And you're like, do you realize that no one looks at the website? They go to the freaking GBP, but you need the website for it to work, but like, so I hate that side of marketing. I hate that side of marketing where it's like, it's all just the visual, and that's it. And it's all that matters. Or like, oh, you know what? We need to have an email. That email's got to have a bunch of colors in it because we're going to send in, there's all these colors and pictures. But like
most people's phones eliminate that stuff. They remove the, you know, like, you know what I mean? Like, so it's like, so that's the part of marketing that I hate, George.
Not that also keep telling me about colors. Awesome. I can't see them anyway. I don't give a shit.
Yeah.
So
really, I did not know that. I did not.
Yeah.
George says that he's an SEO purist and I love the tech and data analysis.
I mean, George is killer at SEO Neo and shit like that.
Well, there you go. He's obviously got a very detailed.
No, I think that part of it is so much fun. You know, like I mean, I have more fun learning and like testing stuff with Kyle than I do anything else. Like actually that's the most fun. Like I just have doing that.
I think that is the fun part. It's like I said before, like being a kid in the candy store. Like you're testing these things out and you're seeing how it's going to react with Google's algorithm. And there's nothing more satisfying to observe what's happening. I mean,
it's so much fun. Yeah.
Yeah. I've been go ahead.
No, but it's like also like if you're and then like another really satisfying part is like when you've taken all those things that you've learned and then you're able to like change someone's day or life by like improving their bit, like that actually is fun too. It's like really rewarding, and it's like, you know, you're not like, oh, I need to wait till I get the next client because I'm gonna like, you know, oh my god, if I do, you know, you're not like churning and burning, right? You're actually like doing something legitimate. That is fun.
I think
it's cool.
Yeah, go ahead. I think that part is very humbling for me because you're doing all this stuff for clients, but like we bury ourselves in the actual work, right? And we're not seeing the business aspect of things. And so when the client talks to you or shows gratitude, it's like, oh shit, okay, I was able to help in a way that means a lot to them, right? Like that's a significant part of their business. So yeah, absolutely. That's a good point there.
And it's one of the reasons why I love local SEO so much. Because like I've done everything. Like, so I still do pick up the occasional one, but for a long time I worked in Silicon Valley. Like for a lot of brands that you've heard of, you know, doing their SEO to get their Series A, Series B funding and stuff, you know, like Instacart and shit like that. I mean, it's cool, but then you gotta like go through this board and you gotta go to the marketing manager and just meet brand guidelines and all for what? So some dickhead can buy a second yacht, right? But then you do something like this and like
you really put it in those terms. Hey, cool, got the point.
But then when you work with local SEO and you work with actual businesses, like you're helping somebody put food on the table. You're helping, you know, some guy go from one truck, an HVAC company go from one truck to 5. Like we worked with a chiropractor during the pandemic. Actually, she literally started at the beginning of the pandemic. She started her practice, worst time ever. But of course, it takes planning and stuff. We know this is going to happen, and it was just her. And then by the time, like, you know, I had exited that former company, like she had multiple locations, right? Like this is something that I knew at the beginning of her chiropractic career, and then she's like supporting her family, and her family grew and stuff like that. Like that's what's so great about local SEO is just helping actual people, helping actual families just, you know, grow and stuff.
Yeah. All right, let me ask one question here. With the Google updates, have you guys been through a major shakeup where sites have tanked?
Of course.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, so when that happens, this is something I do struggle with. It's not that the Google updates happen, it's that the stress from the business owners that they project onto you. Is that something you guys struggle with a little bit or not really?
Oh, no, they need to shut the fuck up and let me do my job.
I mean, like the problem is that we get that all the time because it's up and down, right?
Yes.
It's cyclical, you know, and it's like the, you know, it's like if you look at like a sine wave, right, where it goes into the negative and then it goes to the positive and it just kind of goes like that. That's SEO. But the thing is that in this case, the sine wave doesn't stay at like 0, right? It constantly goes up, but it does go up and down. So you're constantly seeing that sort of that growth, but it does go down. And like what I say to them is like, hey, listen, I mean, we're basically like triaging your site. We know what's happening. We're fixing it, you know. But like, yeah, unfortunately, it's there is a point where you do get these people that, again, Kyle said in the beginning, they're asking for too much. And if anyone were to say to me, like, what do you regret the most? Here's what I regret the most. I regret going out of my way to help people in situations, and then they don't appreciate it. So you'll sit there, you'll help them set up all these things, fix just, I've helped people set up their iPhone so that it works. And I've sat there for hours helping them do that. You know what I'm talking about, Kyle? And guess what? Like, oh, next month, you know what? You guys aren't just really doing it well for me. It's like, really?
What?
Really? Like, for what? Because you went to Europe for 3 weeks and you didn't get any phone calls because you were gone. Like, you know what I mean? And that's kind of like that's where, like, again, that's just toxic people, and there's nothing you can really do about it.
That's true. That's very, very, very true. Yeah.
100%. Yeah. And unfortunately, there are always going to be toxic people and stuff out there, but I hope, I like to think, but I hope that there's multiple more people who are just good, decent people.
You mean as cool as us? Is that what you mean?
Let's not go crazy. Let's not go
not quite up to our.
But yeah, I mean, like the majority of business owners and clients that we've worked with, are, like I said, just good, decent people. There are some that are just complete dicks that ruin it for everybody else. That's why Dimitri and I are like, fuck it. You know what? We're not gonna base everything on reports, and we're not gonna do meetings and shit like this, because it just got to the point where there's that, unfortunately, a vocal minority who just destroyed it for everybody else, right?
This is really funny, but we were doing some white label work for this one company that deals with law firms, and they were just,
we'll call them 10 silver reasons
to not work with them. So and what's so funny was, like, all they were complaining, and like their account manager, was just so condescending and so rude, and just like, how could you create these press releases? This language is terrible, and so what we did was I just stopped sending them I just created like non-branded press releases to their page. It's like, you know what, if you're going to be that annoying, we're just going to circumvent you and get the job done anyway. Like, it really doesn't matter. Like, we'll still find a way to make it work. So if you have a client that's like reading every single line and be like, this is ridiculous, the tense here is, or like, I don't deal with mice, I only deal with rodents. Like, literally, we've dealt with people like that. And so you're like, okay, let's go put it into a hidden div and then rank you anyway.
Right.
And we just don't waste our time. It's a waste of our time.
I mean, Dimitri, that specific client was what got my head turning about this whole, like, green hat thing. It's like, you know what? I should just create an agency where we don't give reports. The only reports are your phone calls went up 15% this month. Like,
look what came of it.
Well, I mean, it's So it's just, I think that is where you come across so many situations and so many people and so many niches that, like, you're just like, what are you doing?
Yeah, I find that there's mostly like good people in the middle. Okay, like good clients. Then there's that exceptionally bad client at the bottom, like an outlier, right? And then there's like one or two really awesome clients, right? Like, they'll just write the check and throw the money at you and go do your shit. Those are the ones that I would love to have, right? Or the middle set is great. It's that little bit that shit. But I will say this: there's nothing more satisfying than having, like, if a client is harassing you or causing you stress or anxiety. I have fired clients before too, right? It's like, you know what? I put a boundary on this, and we're just not going to work well together. Like, you can pay me $3,000 per month, but this isn't worth it. Like, you're not my only client. You're not my only client, right? And I've had to do that. Have you guys had to do that before?
Oh, a lot.
Sure.
I mean, I mean, only when you're obviously able to do so. Like, I mean, there have been times, but that's like saying, like, like, I've had jobs where, like, I've had horrible management, but I had no choice because I had to pay the rent. So, like, I mean, of course, but I'm just saying, like, from a human decency level, you shouldn't, in my opinion, you just shouldn't ever put yourself in a situation where, like, you allow people to do that to you. And the other part is, if you're doing good, solid work, right? If you're doing good, solid work, and, like, they're going to criticize you, I mean, you might be better off just getting rid of them anyway. Because what you end up doing is you end up spending hours upon hours upon hours like finding the evidence, showing them that you're actually doing it, because you're like, well, let me show you these reports and I'm going to give you all this stuff and I'm going to show you screenshots, and then they don't read them and they don't care because they're just going to criticize you anyway, and so you end up wasting your time. It's actually not even worth working for them.
Seriously, what the hell are we dealing with all these stresses for?
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
But like you said, I get it. Like, I get it when you don't have enough clients and you've got to put up with people's crap. We've all been there, you know, it's one of those things. But
but I mean, this is why you got to raise your prices to the point where you don't get those clients. Like, so if you're first starting out, like, first of all, like, if you're first starting out, don't quit your day job to go into SEO, right? You got to have something there, like, but once you're able to replace the money at your day job, then fucking awesome, go for it. But then raise your rates, like, get a bunch of like $500, $700 per month clients while you're working your day job or whatever. And then once you're pulling in, 5, 6, 7K a month, then you quit your day job, go pivot into SEO full time, but then you raise your rates to $1,500 per month, which is really what you should be doing anyway for your local SEO.
Yeah.
Right? $1,500 should be about where you're charging.
That's standard.
And then, then you just get this entire other tier of clients who are going to trust you more, who can wait, if you're not as good as us, 3, 4, 5, 6 months for SEO to kick in. Right.
Yeah, absolutely. And yes, that is good advice. Do not quit your day job until you have 3 to 5 decent paying clients, because if you can attract those clients, you've learned a few things, okay, marketing wise too.
Right.
And you'll need that to grow. Absolutely. Wow, we are at an hour and 20. Holy shit.
Oh wow. Right.
I did not realize that. I guess we're having a good time in general, huh?
I
mean, I guess.
Sorry, Dimitri. Sorry to disappoint you. I'm sorry that my burgers aren't as good as yours. I don't have a fire pit and all this.
You and your Phoenix,
Dimitri's balling over here. Yeah, he's got his giant house.
We're about to duke it out.
By the way, I did think that you were into Marvel. I told you that. Like, that's why I was like, oh, you're really into Marvel. Like,
So how often should we expect, Kyle, this is for you and me, how often should we expect Dimitri to host us with those awesome burgers? At
least once a month.
As long as someone wants to drive down, sit in the traffic, absolutely. We'll make it happen.
Dimitri's like a backyard Gordon Ramsay over here.
That's right.
Seriously. He was flipping burgers.
You haven't even seen it. You haven't even seen it all yet, guys. Bring
it on. No, seriously, he was such a great host. And I think we all just had such a blast. Like, we talked about, I mean, everything. And then the second day, the same thing with a little bit of football mixed in, right?
Right. We had brunch in there, I would say that in when you think about one of the most important things though in SEO, I've noticed, because I was always like a lone wolf type, is if once you find the right group, sharing things with them, that's really important, and sharing within that group. And so that is one thing that I've learned recently that I might have would have done differently. Right. So had I, let's say, found a group that I could trust and found a group that I felt was actually, of like-minded people, then I would have been able to excel at a much different rate. And so I think that being in a group that is genuinely legitimate and not just doing, like I was saying before, these, enterprise SEO things, that's going to be probably something you should do going forward, because you're going to learn something.
Yeah, absolutely.
Join groups. This one, Green Hat, when we launch ours, which I just haven't made it public yet. I know Tim Collard's group is another good one that we're active in, but nobody. I think what a lot of people in SEO do, we get into it, me especially, because I'm an introvert. I don't want to talk to people.
Yep. Right? Same.
But once I started joining these groups, I'm talking about way back in 2014, 2015, joining testing groups and stuff, where I learned how to test and how to actually, because before, admittedly, I was just, getting these affiliate sites, paying somebody 3 cents a word to write them, and then getting a whole bunch of links pointed to them. But once I started joining these groups and actually learning about on-page SEO and testing and stuff like that, my career, my knowledge just just exploded.
Yep.
Yeah.
Right.
Absolutely.
So, join these groups, right? But, don't just take, you got to give too. So run your own tests, get your own sites
Sure.
and, contribute, and people are going to be willing to share their knowledge with you.
I think that's really, really true. And it's great advice because, like, I've had periods in my career where I've pushed myself out of my comfort zone, like, networking and speaking at like conferences or whatever. But what
Oh,
ends
yeah. I get invited to all these conferences, but, whatever. No big deal.
those elite conferences that some of us get invited. It was a cool experience in the sense that, like, I had to. Sorry.
I've never been invited. Thank you for rubbing it in my face.
I mean,
Yeah,
but you know
whatever,
what?
man.
I invited you here, right? So that's how that works out. But what it does is it pushes you to the right people, right? Like, what I'm trying to get to is that you can also connect. Once you open yourself up, you're going to find connections happening. And when I've connected with other people, it's when I've had the most fun. It's when I've learned the most. It's when I've shared things with other people that I thought were like common knowledge, but maybe they're not, right? For the other person. And I think connecting, like, I've already shared this with you guys. Like, during the pandemic, I kind of regressed. I wasn't connecting with other people. And just in the last few months, I've chosen to just kind of try to connect with other people. And here we are. And, Dimitri was flipping burgers and we were talking about SEO stuff and testing and SEO Neo and Agency Assassin and local clients and agencies. Like, it's been a blast. I'm having fun again, right? And
oh yeah. And I think that's where for me SEO, like, I know George said he hated marketing, right?
yeah.
And like for me, the idea of being in like in a corporate environment and having to like go down that corporate structure, like Kyle said, all that kind of stuff, just not fun.
Boo.
I think this is way better, just being able to like kind of carve your own little like piece out, and when Kyle said, hey, once you can start charging $1,500 to $2,000 a month, and you can start doing that, don't just be the person who does that and builds websites and puts them on Yext and then gives them 4 blogs a month and then, says to them, just don't do that. Don't be that person, because like you could be that person and maybe get lucky and like they're just going to do fine anyway, but you're never going to grow, right? Like that's just like the vanilla. That's not even white hat. That is whatever. That's just whatever SEO.
Look at Dimitri, real talk, man. He's
That's
just
what I'm
saying. He's just
not even drinking yet. Wait till I'm drinking.
Seriously, this is just coffee high, I think.
I told you, just coffee and rage. That's what Dimitri survives on.
Yes. Talk about let's get me fired up. Say something that it's going to piss me off.
Well, I can't yet because George is too nice. Maybe George will leave something that really, pisses you off.
We should have like a San Diego SEO meetup and just like stream from a bar or something in San Diego. I know a couple of the guys down there.
That'd be great. That'd be great.
Kyle, that's not very halal of you.
That's a great idea.
I'm just kidding. No, but we could definitely do a SEO meetup. George left a couple comments if you guys want to hear him.
George is killing it.
He is.
George showed up. Yeah, who's this George guy?
Yeah, he did show up for us. Thank you, George. Last time I did this, there were a handful of people that stuck with me and had conversations the whole hour. And George is here doing it with us.
Where did Nathan go? Did we scare Nathan away just by being super fucking aggro about working with carpet cleaners?
Actually, there are still 2 people. So Nathan is probably the other person. He just hasn't commented. So
Nathan, stop doing carpet cleaners. Get better clients. Get clients that pay you more. Go to HVAC.
Nathan says he likes the SEO meetup idea, by the way. Where do you live, Nathan? And George said there are plenty of people asking for SEO help with no idea what to do, charging $3,000 per month, and that's probably true.
Wait. There's no. They're asking.
No, you're charging $3K a month because that's your knowledge. I mean, think about it, dude. If you have been in SEO longer than 2 years, you know more than probably 80% of people out there. You need to be charging, like that. Like, fuck, like if you're getting clients off of like Upwork or something, and you're charging less than $150 an hour, you're selling yourself short. Right. Like personally, like if you want to, like If somebody wants to come up to me like, Kyle, I want an hour of your time exclusively to help with my website. Okay, $1,500. Let's do it. That's what I charge, right? Like, I think a lot of people, and this goes back to the imposter syndrome. A lot of people in SEO don't understand their worth. Like I said, if you've been in SEO for 2 years, you should be charging at least $150 an hour, if not closer to 200.
Yeah,
if you've been doing it for 20 years like me, then $1,500 an hour. Somebody can take an hour of my time for $1,500 and literally 10x that.
Yeah.
So the other problem is that a lot of people that just run a SEMrush report and do a backlink report on Ahrefs, and then they say, hey, here's your report, here's $150 an hour. Those people ruin it for people that actually know what they're doing, right? And so that's kind of like where I'm very like that's where that's the problem, where sometimes you do have to, like, your entry level fee has to be low because somebody has basically ruined it for you up to that point, right? And I'm not again, until you have a name for yourself, or at least you have like some sort of history of some kind. But yeah, I will say that, like, my thing is just, it's such a waste of time talking to people. It's so annoying. And I can, Kyle and I did this the other day. We came across a certain type of niche lawyer, and we were like, I don't want to work with him. I already know it's not going to work. And that's the thing. It's like, you just sort of instinctively know. So once you can get to a place where you instinctively know that it ain't going to work, then I think that's when you can start charging the money, because then you come up with these intricate ideas and ways to find people money. And that's where you're worth more than, like what the going rate is.
Right.
Yeah.
Or, I mean, an easy way to do it, to figure out how much you want to charge, is, it's like, take the CPC and multiply it times 5. And that's what you could conceivably sell a lead for. So if you can get them 10 leads a month, and then, if that's what they'd be getting, you can charge, say like you're getting 10 leads a month, and that's worth $5,000 or whatever, right? Then you can charge $500 a month, and the other person is still doubling their marketing budget, right? Yeah. So,
by the way, Nathan is in Rancho Bernardo, which is like literally around the corner.
Oh,
wow.
So I think we have a few people from San Diego. I mean, it could be fun to start doing meetups every so often. That's something we could talk about.
Yeah, we'll just find a bar or something.
Hey Nathan, you ever gone to the Rancho Bernardo, I think it's winery or the vineyard or something like that? It's like this like vineyard, I think, or like I think it's called that. And like, I don't know, it's a great place to bring kids and drink wine.
Well, there's a surprising amount of decent wineries and stuff in Southern California.
I'm just saying, I think it's called the Rancho Bernardo. I forgot the name of it. I'm gonna look it up right now, because now you got me all thinking.
Now he's ready.
Yeah, because I'm thinking about, like, I think that would be a fun meetup place. Let me see here.
Let's go. I'll bring Laura. Laura's super into wine. Like, she's taught me a lot about it.
Is that what it's gonna take to bring Laura out?
I think so.
Okay. All right.
Like, maybe there's wine. Let's go.
We need some female presence at these things,
some
too.
Energy.
You know what I'm saying? I can't be the only one here. So bring your girlfriends.
No, I think it's the Ranch. Yeah, it is. That's it. The Rancho Bernardo Winery. That's right. I've been there.
Let's make some plans.
Been there, done that.
We'll have to do it with enough notice. Like, we'll make it ahead of time, right, and properly plan it out, because then we could have a few people come meet us up. Why not?
Yes.
Yeah.
And that's another thing, is like, we already discussed it, but SEO can be like a very lonely space if you just stay disconnected. But then as soon as you meet the right people, it's so much fun. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's what makes it.
If you go in with I think that's what it is. You've got to meet the right people where you're not insecure sharing your secrets and learning from them. You know what I mean? People start viewing each other as competitors, and it's really not true, though. It's not
right,
true.
Because nobody competes with us. So I'm willing to get some of this stuff out. Like,
oh my God!
I'll say this. I used to be really afraid of giving away my secrets. Okay.
Yeah.
And then I realized one day I was giving away some secrets, and I'm like, here you go. Let's see you do it. And they still couldn't do it. And I'm like, oh, so like, if there's a person out there who like can actually understand the secret that I gave them, and they like can actually implement it and make it work, well, that means that's a person I'm going to be, fucking with, because guess what? Now like now I'm going to learn from them. I'm going to learn there's something, but like I'm not even exaggerating. Like I
No,
literally,
that's an awesome point.
Yeah.
That's
Right.
an awesome point because I've had a very small amount of people take any secrets I said out loud and implemented it and saw some gains, right? And then they're giving your testimonial like, oh, this method really worked and I listened to this advice and my shit just took off. So yeah, it's a win-win either way.
So
There's
Moon,
a
when can we
guy,
expect a testimonial from you?
oh yeah. Yeah, we need one from you tomorrow. There's a guy
Yeah.
that Kyle and I know. We're not going to mention his name, but this person, really thought that like, oh, I'm going to take a couple of Kyle's little secrets, right? Kind of befriended him, got to, and then try to run with it, and then basically wasn't aware that like since SEO is that cyclical cycle, once he, like got rid of Kyle and me, guess what? Things didn't really turn out that good for him,
Right.
No.
And Dimitri, I mean, that's why like I fucked with you because we were talking and shit, and I'm like, fuck, he's got some brains. He can
Well,
do this
you know
shit.
what? Here's what happened. I've gone to a lot of listened to a lot of people, and everyone I talk to, I'm like, oh, here we go again. Same old story, same old like routine. This is what you do. Heard it before. And I'm talking to this guy, or I'm sorry, I'm watching this guy, Kyle, do a presentation. I'm like, what the fuck? And that's kind of where it all happened. And so
yeah, that was in the 7-figure agency, right? Which is just
what a joke. What a joke.
Yeah. You'll find a lot of copycats. Like I've literally had people rip every one of my posts and post them on their like Facebook on their social media profile. Like they will steal
That's
and that it was word for word, and I was like kind of in shock because I was like, he didn't even bother throwing it in Chat GPT and like paraphrasing it or something. I was like, that's 30 days worth of content he literally took from my profile.
I think it's funny.
And I blocked him. I was like, what if you can't? I don't know. The devil is in the details. More power to you. But I took it as, okay, I've made it. If people are going to try to fucking copy me, you know
exactly.
what? Whatever. And with SEO, though, with processes, like just because you told me about SEO Neo doesn't mean that I know your strategy either. You know what I mean? Like, I would have to get you more drinks to spill it.
I'm going to tell you right now, I tried to set up SEO Neo by myself, and it took me about 8 hours.
Oh no, don't.
And it was all wrong. And then Kyle had to come in and fix a couple of things. So I just wanted to see like how it was. It is not, again, it's not like there's you get, it's a tool that you can get good at. So yeah, I just think that at the end of the day, if you have a meetup or something like that, and you have someone like, hey, I'm going to learn from you and I want to work with you or whatever. There's also nothing wrong with not being able to keep up with, let's say, the Kyles of this world, so to speak, right? Because guess what? It's okay because you can come in and like provide you can provide value to that group, right? In some other forms, right? Mm-hmm. And there's so many ways that you can still be a part of it. It's just that I think it really comes down to what everyone says. Just be genuine, man. Just
right.
Yeah, of course.
Don't just show up and try to be like, oh, I'm gonna like whatever. Just be yourselves, like. And people like me, I can sniff you out real quick anyway, So
right.
That's my thing, I'm all about
right. Like if you show up and you're just like taking, like, okay, like I get it if you're genuinely just trying to sit there and learn stuff, but if you're gonna go there, take all this shit, repackage it, and then go to other people and be like, oh yeah, I own Google. Like people are gonna figure that out real quick, and then they're not gonna tell you like their secrets and shit. Yeah. But if you go there and you want to learn, you genuinely want to learn, like cool. Like I love teaching people. Like I mean, Moon and Dimitri, like I'll sit there and talk with you about SEO all fucking day, but I know like you want to learn and then like implement it and shit like that. Well, but if you're just doing it to boost your ego, like you're gonna be bounced out of these groups real quick.
I'm going to take every one of your secrets, Kyle, not even repackage them and sell them as my own. I'm just making a declaration.
That makes
just
sense.
Keep sending me pictures of your cats and I'll accept it as payment.
Sounds good to me. He's right here.
I would say that like to kind of like piggyback on that one too, Kyle, is basically like, you what you don't realize is that when I first started working with Kyle, which is like actually almost a year ago now, right?
Right.
Oh yeah, dude. That's right. So from this year, I'm going to tell you what happened. We started off working, and I started like as I started to get closer and closer, and like we started like learning his style and his shit. We went from, let's say, an average of like $150 to create one piece of content, right? To now it's like $3. I don't know. Like I don't even know what it is because
including VAs, I think it's a little less than $3. I did the numbers. It's less than $3. It's like $2.79 or something like that.
So in the course of this 1 year, right, we went from 150 to like $3, let's say, right? That's it. Now, those people that like maybe would have stolen that idea, let's say last November or whatever, okay, they're already behind.
Yeah.
And that's what I'm talking about. Like that's the difference.
Absolutely.
That's where, but everyone has their own style. Everyone like George is like amazing at, again, links, right? So everyone you do get your SEO superpower that you're really good at naturally, and then you become part of that's your thing. That's who you are.
Yep.
By the way, George's wife, he says my wife loves wine. So I mean,
George, you're only a few hours away. He's in Phoenix.
Oh, shoot.
George's wife, you said?
Yeah, he says my wife loves wine, and then Nathan says I live right next to it. Never been there. So it's
then we gotta go.
Yeah. I mean, listen, I've been there twice because like it's like you can not that I'm like I didn't go drink wine. It was like more hanging out with like a bunch of people and their family, kids.
Sure.
But whatever. Yeah.
Hey,
George should come out too. Like I said, George is in Phoenix. He's only he's like 6 hours away.
Yeah.
Is he willing to drive 6 hours? Is he willing to pick you up on the way and then? I'm just kidding.
If he wants to go 2 hours out of the way, pick me up. Yeah.
Go down the 10, right? Then go down the 5.
Yeah.
Pick up Kyle.
Yep. Yeah. Pick you up.
What is it called? Garbage Grove? Is that what it's called? That's what Shane calls it.
Yeah, just throwing them out there. Yeah,
damn. Maybe we'll all go to Disneyland if we can afford it.
Yeah.
Well.
Yeah. Wow. We talked about everything, and we are going on an hour and 40. So I think I will end this here. And it's been a blast, you guys. It's been a lot of fun, and I hope that. Yeah, I hope whoever watches this gets a ton of value because Dimitri's been doing this for so many years. Kyle, I've known you for so long. We just never really chatted and hung out up until recently, last couple months. Mm-hmm. And I've been doing this since too fucking long, 2008. So between the three of us, whatever we're sharing here is unfiltered. You know what I mean? So it's genuine advice.
I was going to say, put this up on YouTube because we've been told that when me and Dimitri go on YouTube, then those videos get the most engagement. But
I mean,
like you said, this is unfiltered, so maybe you should just keep this special for the group.
I wonder if you'll get more views since I'm on here with you guys. I'm just
that's interesting.
I'm just kidding. No, I will definitely put this on YouTube, and we've talked about a subreddit as well. So, gotta get this thing out there.
And it'll be a lot more fun if people have questions next time, because then we'll actually do. Here's what I want to do. I wanted someone to be like, all right, here's my problem. And then Kyle and I just break it down. We'll break it down in an hour.
You'll break it down in an hour. I mean, for
I'm
sure.
Serious.
I'm down with it.
Bring your SEO questions. Bring your
bring your
questions.
SEO problems. Give me your SEO problems. Give us.
Have somebody break down some of these ad groups too and shit.
Well, how about this, dude? How about this? How about if you got a client you're trying to sell, we'll help you sell it. And I'm just not sell it. Just
give us credit. Don't go around saying that you fucking own Google and Google's your bitch.
No, but we'll break it down and create a fucking marketing plan for you too, just for fun. I mean, there's only
Why don't we do that? Okay, our next
George and Nathan.
Why don't we do that in a month? We'll do a Halloween special or something. Promote the shit out of this. I mean, we'll do Halloween support where me and Dimitri will break everything down and we'll create an entire strategy for someone too.
And you know what we'll do? This won't be staged. We'll do it at the beginning of the show. You have to then say, hey, you're not a plant, you're a real person. You're going to come in, you're just going to give us something. And we'll tell you right then and there, While I'm running a
Okay.
report, Kyle could be talking about something, and then we could share that report. I mean, we can make it happen. It'll be that actually is going to be like, I would just do that. Like, I would love to do that. That'll be even more
Hell
fun.
yeah. Let's do
Dimitri
it.
wants a challenge. He wants
do.
live
I do.
problems he can
I do.
solve.
And
He's-
I want, there's a certain particular guy who lives in like Boca Raton, Florida, who was it those 10, something rules of
10
something.
silver
love,
regulations.
Yeah, I'd love to talk to that guy and explain to that person,
Like,
because it's
you
not defamation
fucked
of character. Is it what's defamation of character?
I think it is.
Is it defamation of character? If you say, like, you have to say something that's true though, right?
I think it's just if you just like talk shit in a public forum, which somebody did, and somebody needs to get smacked in the mouth for it.
I wonder if you
I
say in a
got my
public
stress
forum.
ball here. I'm getting upset.
Can you say in a public forum your opinion though?
You know what? We should find this out. We should talk to a lawyer again. Like I'm
going to throw this out there right now.
Oh boy, there's a lot of
I'm going to
SEO
say
drama happening.
that there's a
over
lot of people that we've come into contact lately who act and think like they know a lot about SEO, and they literally don't. And their hubris is so beyond the spectrum that it's like, it's kind of fun. And I would love for someone in that situation for us to just break down their site and explain what they're doing wrong. And not even from a place of like trying to like trash them just because it's fun, you know, but from a place of just like, you know what, you really don't know. Like, and that's like the exposure. But I don't think they would ever do that. But it would be really cool. I'd love to do that. That'd be so much fun.
Yeah, they probably won't. But I'm gonna get the scoop behind the scenes, y'all. I want to know about this. I want to know. I want to. Hey, you know how boring work can be sometimes, and you're like.
No, because I love SEO. SEO is amazing. I love
SEO is amazing. Don't get me wrong, but if you're just doing it by yourself, sometimes it's like, oh, give me the scoop, give me the scoop. You know what I mean?
And like again, it's not about
the San Diego meetup.
Yeah, San Diego.
Well, that should bring people out. That should bring people out.
It's a good place, by the way. A good place to meet up.
What?
Stone Brewery. It's a little expensive, but their burgers are out of control.
Well, what was that? Dimitri, what was that pizza place we went to? That's over by your office.
Oh, wait, pizza place.
Yeah, they like.
Oh yeah, Woodstock Pizza.
Woodstock, yeah, that place is really good too.
That place is great, dude. No, that place is great.
And we have a couple awesome places for pizza too around here too. Pizza.
I don't venture in that part of town, Moon. I'm so sorry.
I'm sorry.
I'm
sorry.
You saw his house. He only associates with a certain kind of people.
He's got a castle now. He can't walk the streets anymore.
24-year-olds that are drunk and puking everywhere. That's all I want to do.
That's why I didn't show up in your part of town back then. Okay, I was like, I don't want to deal with.
No, Woodstock Pizza is actually legit, dude.
Okay.
It's got a great place. They have vegan pizza there too, so Laura can come by and
Okay, let's do it. I mean, especially if we can get your girlfriends there. So you have a girlfriend and you have a girlfriend. They're not wives, or are they wives? Sorry.
No, that's
what you're talking about. You're talking about me? I have a girlfriend?
Both of you. Clarify.
Wait.
Don't tell Whitney about Dimitri's girlfriend. What are you doing?
Yeah. She's talking about my
got it.
No, she's I'm engaged.
Okay. That's cool. Yeah. Bring your ladies out. So I'm not the only one. You know what I'm saying? I gotta get some female energy around me too.
I mean,
you guys are okay, but you know how it goes. And guys, I am gonna make a post about choosing those couple of people to help with their GMBs. That's gonna be sick. That's gonna be a lot of fun too.
Make it happen.
So with that said, I'm going to let you guys go. Thank you for joining me and answering any questions. And George, thanks for hanging with us. And Nathan, you too. And there was a third person here too whose feelings I'm about to hurt because I'd have to scroll a long time to get their name as well.
Farhan.
But I will post this everywhere. All right.
I'd like to see that. I'd like to have something next time. That'd be fun. Let's do that.
All right. Sounds good to me. All right. You guys have a great day. I'll see you next time.
See you later.
Bye.